There comes a moment in life when a person realizes that drifting is no longer enough. For years, many people move through life reacting rather than directing. Days are filled with small distractions, endless scrolling, unfinished goals, and quiet frustration. The intention to improve exists, yet progress feels inconsistent. The truth is that most people do not fail because they lack ambition, and they fail because they lack structure. In the modern world of 2026, the battlefield is no longer a field of swords and armor. The battlefield is the mind. It is discipline versus distraction. It is purpose versus comfort. It is faith versus doubt. Centuries ago, the legendary swordsman Miyamoto Musashi wrote a text known as the Book of Five Rings. It was originally intended as a guide for warriors, but its lessons extend far beyond combat. Musashi divided his philosophy into five elements: earth, water, fire, wind, and void. These rings were not mystical concepts, they were strategic ways of understanding discipline, awareness, and personal mastery. When applied to modern life, the five rings become a powerful framework for self-improvement, spiritual alignment, and meaningful progress. In 2026, these five rings can guide anyone who seeks clarity, discipline, and growth. Earth, building the foundation. Everything begins with earth. Earth represents stability, order, and foundation. A warrior cannot fight effectively if the ground beneath him is unstable. In the same way, a person cannot build a disciplined life without a stable foundation. Many people attempt to improve their lives by focusing on motivation. They watch inspiring videos, read quotes, and imagine success. Yet motivation fades quickly or structure does not. The Earth Ring teaches that the foundation of growth begins with daily habits. Wake up intentionally, make the bed, clean the room, prepare the body. These simple actions may appear small, yet they establish order. When the environment is organized, the mind becomes clearer. Chaos in the physical world often creates chaos in the mental world. Earth also includes responsibility for time, responsibility for health, responsibility for commitments. When a person begins honoring their word, even in small things, they develop trust in themselves. Another important aspect of earth is physical discipline. Training the body strengthens the mind. Exercise teaches persistence. When muscles burn and breathing becomes difficult, the mind learns that discomfort is not the enemy. Growth often begins where comfort ends. But earth is not only about physical habits, it is also about gratitude. Before pursuing goals, one must acknowledge the gift of life itself. Gratitude aligns the mind with humility and devotion to God. Each morning can begin with a simple moment of prayer and a quiet recognition that strength, opportunity, and purpose come from something greater than oneself. When gratitude becomes part of daily structure, discipline becomes meaningful rather than mechanical. Earth reminds us that greatness grows from small, consistent actions. Water, learning to adapt. After foundation comes adaptability. This is the ring of water. Water flows. It adjusts to obstacles without losing its nature. It is powerful yet flexible. In life, many challenges arise unexpectedly. Plans fail. Circumstances change. People disappoint us. Opportunities disappear. A rigid mind breaks under pressure. A flexible mind adapts. The water ring teaches emotional control. Instead of reacting with frustration, the disciplined individual pauses. Instead of resisting change, they adjust strategy. Instead of quitting, they refine the approach. Adaptability is not weakness, it is intelligence. Water also teaches humility. Humility is the willingness to learn. A person who believes they already understand everything stops growing. A person who remains curious continues evolving. Reading books, listening to wise teachers, and observing the world carefully all strengthen the water ring. Water also teaches patience. In the modern world, people often expect instant results, yet meaningful progress rarely occurs quickly. Strength takes time, knowledge takes time, character takes time. Water reminds us to trust the process. And just as rivers carve mountains through persistence, disciplined effort shapes life through patience. Fire, taking action. The third ring is fire. Fire represents intensity. energy, and execution. And many people understand what they should do. Few consistently take action on ideas are common. Execution is rare. Fire is the moment when thought becomes movement. In 2026, the greatest enemy of action is distraction. Phones, notifications, entertainment, and endless information compete for attention. Hours disappear without meaningful progress. Fire requires focus. Deep work is essential. This means dedicating periods of time to concentrated effort without interruption, writing, studying, training, building. When attention is fully committed to a task, productivity multiplies. Fire also appears through physical training, running, strength exercises, martial arts, any discipline that demands effort. These activities build resilience. When the body learns to endure discomfort, the mind becomes stronger. Fire also represents courage, taking risks, starting projects, speaking truth. Many people delay action because they fear failure, yet failure is often the greatest teacher. Each attempt provides experience, each mistake reveals new knowledge. Fire encourages movement forward even when outcomes are uncertain. Wine, developing wisdom. The fourth ring is wind. Wind represents awareness and understanding. The Musashi studied other schools of strategy in order to understand different approaches to combat. In modern life, wind represents learning, reading philosophy, studying history, understanding psychology, learning how people think, communicate, and behave. Knowledge expands perspective. When someone studies the experiences of others, they avoid repeating mistakes and gain insight into effective strategies. Wind also encourages observation. Observe how successful people organize their lives. Observe how leaders communicate clearly. Observe patterns of behavior in society. Observation strengthens awareness. Wind also involves self-reflection, or instead of blaming circumstances, a disciplined individual examines their own actions. What could be improved? What lesson can be learned? Wisdom grows when people are willing to analyze themselves honestly. Avoid a spiritual alignment. The final ring is void. Void represents stillness. In the modern world, silence is rare. Technology constantly fills every moment with noise. Without stillness, the mind becomes restless. Void invites quiet reflection, meditation, prayer, solitude. When a person sits quietly without distraction, the mind begins to settle. In that silence, deeper clarity appears. Void also strengthens faith. Prayer is not simply asking for guidance, it is aligning the heart with God. It reminds us that we are not alone in our journey. Like when discipline is combined with faith, effort gains meaning. Void also teaches detachment from comparison. In the digital world, people constantly compare their lives to others. Comparison destroys peace. Void reminds us that progress is personal. Each person has their own path. The goal is not to compete with others. The goal is to improve daily. Integrating the 5 rings. The power of the 5 rings comes from their integration. Earth builds foundational, water adapts, fire acts, wind learns, void aligns the spirit, and together they form a balanced life. A disciplined day might look like this: morning gratitude and prayer, physical training, focused work, reading and learning, and evening reflection. These rhythms transform ordinary days into meaningful ones. The path of continuous growth. Growth rarely happens through dramatic change. It happens through small habits repeated consistently. 30 minutes of reading daily becomes hundreds of hours of knowledge in a year. Daily training strengthens both body and mind. Small financial discipline builds long-term stability. Consistency creates identity. Identity creates confidence. Confidence fuels continued effort. The 5 rings guide this process. When challenges arise, return to earth, adapt through water, act with fire, learn through wind, reflect in void. Our final message: the modern warrior is not defined by combat, he is defined by discipline, and he builds strong foundations. He adapts to challenges, he acts with courage, he learns continuously, he aligns with God through reflection and prayer. The 5 rings provide a timeless path. A path toward clarity, a path toward strength, a path toward purpose. If this message helped you understand how the 5 rings can transform your life in 2026, remember to like the video and subscribe for more lessons on discipline, philosophy, and personal mastery.